So how can we deal with body shamers? Because sometimes there's too much of that, I guess, online and offline. I remember recently I actually hosted an event by the beach, and there was a woman walking around with not much clothes on, but wearing this tiny thong. And this woman in the group I was with was like, "Oh my God, look at the state of her." And I just felt so bad. I just thought, you don't know what someone's story is, or about why. And I think we should be admiring people's confidence rather than trying to body shame them.
I think, it's you really hit it. Like, this is exactly what I think, that how dare she, the look at her, the state of her, really what it is how dare she, there's that kind of how dare she. And by the way, the how dare she, sometimes it comes not just about body, but it could even be about success, daring to dream big, being anything outside of the box that was dictated, like for women. So if you walk slightly outside of that box, you will get the how dare she, who does she think she is, here am I slaving over, eating celery for 30 years, and I will never walk with a thong on the beach, because no, like, and there she is, just how dare she. And I'm not crossed, by the way, when it comes from women.
That's really sad, isn't it? We should be supporting each other.
It's frustrating and it's disappointing. And I won't lie, like, in the moment, you just want to go, no, I'm on your team. Like, no, but it takes a moment, but I do have a lot of empathy, because I know that when it comes from a woman, it really does come, I think, from a place where we're hurt and we've all been brainwashed. Do you know what I mean? So I will try at least to make an effort to have a dialogue with that, but I also get it from men. And I actually shared, and then I'm much less interested in what they have to say, by the way. Like, I really don't care what strange men think about me, my life, my body. Couldn't give a shit. But I did share a little kind of video that I got this message from this guy. You saw it?
I think I saw it. You made a collection of messages, I think I saw on a post.
Things. One was like a collection, but one was this DM from this James guy. I hid his last name, obviously, in his image. That basically said, down the line, like, you're disgusting, and how dare you walk around in the internet and promote, like, you're just lazy, and whatever, and he said, like, how dare you, or something like that. And I said, in my post, I actually took it away from James, because it wasn't about him. It was more about, actually, I feel like women are pressured to engage in our appearance, so that we get distracted and we don't notice what everything else that's going on. Because if we're constantly consumed by our weight and constantly consumed by what we look like, then are we actually paying attention to other things that are happening in the world? And I did like have that moment, like, God, if I actually counted the number of minutes, hours, and days in my life that have been dedicated to trying to count calories or whatever, that's a lot of minutes. That's a lot of minutes. And I started thinking, well, who's benefiting from that? Who benefits from that I'm engaged in that so much? And I think the more successful women are, the more they are, like, there's a demand on them to look a certain way, or to whatever. So I took it as a compliment that James was so outraged by the fact that I, prance around my, my underwear on the internet, and I don't give a fuck. So I took it as a compliment.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Although I found that all these haters, they never have their own picture. Have you found that?
Yeah.
Pressure on women. Something that kind of really impacted me this year was when I saw was it the Super Bowl thing with The Weeknd? I can't remember what it's called. I'm not really up on the media. The Super Bowl concert that they do is it February?
Yes.
It was The Weeknd this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was incredible. It was really, obviously, with the COVID restrictions, this massive show, and he was wearing this red blazer throughout the whole thing. The medley of his best songs. I'm not sure how long it goes on for, maybe 15 minutes. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Then you compare that to last year with J-Lo and Shakira, and it's all about ass, and she looks great, but isn't it? You know, when it's a woman, female performer, it's all about, you know, costume changes and the body, whereas a male performer is not really doing costume changes because it's about the song, isn't it? I mean, I just thought it was a massive contrast.
I didn't see it. Honest, I know, I get where you're coming from. I know what you're saying. I didn't see it. I'm gonna have to see it. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Because I mean, if you the protagonist of your work is the voice, then you don't need to have all these costume changes and flashing your ass and all of that kind of thing. I think as women,
but yeah,
probably more.
You know, that goes back. It goes back to, you know, to sexism, and you're right. You know, the focus a lot of times when it comes to women, no matter in what field, it could be athletes, you know, it could be artists, it could be politicians.
Oh,
even.
of course, yeah, massively. I mean, remember the Theresa May and Nicola Sturgeon, the legs and stuff. I mean,
it's just it's unheard of, you know. Or so it's either the looks or their love lives, you know. So like, who was it? Jennifer Aniston, who won.
Everyone feels sorry for her.
About Brad Pitt, you know, touching her arm. You're like, who cares? Who cares if he touched her arm? You know, the woman just won an award for like an achievement, like her achievements. And it's just like it. Yeah, it's sexist. That's sexism. Yeah.